So guys, this is my weekly report for July 6th. I know I'm a little bit late. I've been having a hectic week doing a lot of fishing. I'm gonna tell you what I did this week. So before the 4th on Monday, I was down in the Delta bass fishing. The bass fishing's pretty decent. As you know, I fish up north, so pretty much I've been hearing it's overall tough, but you can catch bass. And that's what I did on one day. And I tried to get out striper fishing, but it was just too windy and I couldn't get out there in Rio Vista, so I didn't go. So another day, 4th, I didn't do anything. And then on the 5th, yesterday, I went out and tried that 300 and deeper rock cod fishing. And it was just absolutely crazy. We went out by the Farallon Islands. There's a big reef out there. I can't remember the name of it. But we went out there, we were in 350 feet, and there was 5 of us. And I went with Daryl Lim, and he runs a 23 foot outrage whaler, and Lloyd and Robert and Daryl's grandson, Kendrick, went also, and I. So we get out there, and those guys have been doing it. So they all had electric reels, and I didn't. So I had to hand crank mine. But I'd done a lot of hand cranking in Alaska in 350 feet. So I said, you know what, just bring it on. So we got out there, and it was just an absolute crazy. We're fishing waters and grounds where the fish haven't been fished for in over 25 years. And we went out there, graphed some rock piles and drifted over them. And we ended up with our limit of rockfish, so we were allowed 10 each. So we had 50, and we had a lot of vermilions. I'd say more vermilions than anything. And then there's this one brown rockfish. I don't even know the name of it. But they were averaging probably around, I'd say, 3 to 8 pounds. And then we had our 10 lingcod. The lingcod they were probably 10 pounds to 20 pounds. And we just loaded the boat. We had 10 lings and 50 rockfish. Unbelievable. Kendrick, who's only 8 years old, but he's a really good fisherman already, he got his first 2 lingcod, first limit, and they were like 15 and 20 pounds. But, I think if he didn't have electric reel, he probably couldn't have brought him up. So, with that electric reel, it comes up to about 10 feet to the surface, and then you bring them in. But we had a heck of a day. And then today, I went kokanee fishing up at New Melones, and I had a hard time. I mean, I was hardly grafting anything. I look around, obviously, I use my electronics, like crazy, and I talked to a lot of guys that told me where to go try and what to do. But the water temperature was 86 degrees on the surface. So I went with Roger Haney and Rick Teagues, the Blade Runner guy, and we only caught 5. We lost 3, but we only put 5 in the boat. 2 are 18 inches. They're nice fish, but there are not very many of them around there that I could find. And we went all over that lake. So that's what my report is late, because it's a long ways away. It's a couple hour drive. So, and I didn't want to give up. So anyhow, let me talk about what's going on in general. Out in the ocean, unbelievable bluefin action. Actually, when I was bottom fishing, we were gonna go trove back for bluefin, but we weren't deep enough. We were only in 350, and I looked at the charts, and I would have had to probably travel another 45 to an hour out further before I could start trolling. So, and I had to get back, so we just came back. But I will be doing it pretty soon. A lot of guys are catching the heck out of them out there. I mean, guys are going out. I know the guys that work at the shop, they went out and they caught 3 yesterday. Adrian caught 1 the day last week, and then he lost 1. Rick's friends went out the other day. They caught 3, and they hooked another one, and they spooled them. It looked like he was using like an international 16 or a 30, and he got spooled. So there's a lot of fish out there. Everybody that's been going, Ricky Acosta and them went yesterday. They caught 3. So there's a lot of bluefin out there. So, you know, if you guys want to get into action, you need to get out there. We got plenty of Mad Maxes at the shop, and I think we got enough 3X and 4X rods in that'll do the job for you. So bluefin, I think it's a hot commodity right now, and if that's what you want to do, you better get out there. Other things, they're still catching a lot of halibut in the bay. Those fish are going to be moving here pretty quick. And I know Alcatraz, Angel Island has still been producing a lot of fish, and they're still getting stripers around those islands too, and Treasure Island. But pretty quick here, when the weather permits, you want to get out to that North Bar. The halibut out there on that North Bar scene, the bigger ones will stay out there, out in that North Bar area, and you could catch, I mean, you could catch a white sea bass, halibut, stripers, and that's all real quick in the future as soon as the weather calms down and you're able to get out there. Other things coming in, there's still a lot of stripers in the system. I've heard good reports on the Sacramento. A lot of these stripers are starting to head back out, and there's a lot of them in the river right now, from Garcia Bend out to Walnut Grove. They're still catching a lot. So if you get out there early in the morning and throw rip baits, and I would get on a bend or an end where the current's pushing into on the rock bank and throw jerk baits, you'll probably catch a lot of stripers. I haven't heard anybody bait fishing. Everybody's using jigs or jerk baits. Shad, it's starting to slow down a little bit. It's getting that time now, but there's still a push coming in. There's a lot of them up above Sunrise to the dam. That's probably one of the best areas to fish, but there is some being caught around Watt Avenue on up. But it's been a little slow. But if you get there when there's a school there, you'll have a ball. Use a 1-inch pink champagne grub. You can use a bobber and float it down so you can cast further. Use a water bobber and then cast it out, or you could use a split shot. I've caught plenty with just a split shot with that little 1-inch grub on a 1/32 ounce jig head and the split shot about 3 feet above it. Cast out with 4-pound test, let it hit the bottom and drift down, and when you hit that seam, you'll catch one every cast. So the shad are in the system too, so you know, this is something that you guys can do. Other things about going on kokanee fishing is Stampede still putting out some fish. It's slowed down a little bit. One of the two hottest lakes right now, I think, are Bullard's Bar and Pardee. Those two lakes are kicking out. Those two lakes, the limits are 10. So you could go there and catch 10 kokanee. And the action is really good. Other things going on, trout fishing is getting a little warm now. You could probably still catch them at Comanche. You could probably get them at Collins. But other than that, I haven't heard a whole lot. The bass fishing is really good in the lakes. The thermocline over at Berryessa is at 25 feet. So you could go in the narrows, or you could go on the main body and find the point with the shad over there where the point extends out in the lake. And you could probably catch a lot of them on top water or rip baits. You could probably get them cranking. You could probably get them drop shotting. But Berryessa would be a good place. Folsom's still kicking out a lot of bass. You could go up to South Fork or fish the Middle Peninsula, and probably Sinkles around the willow bushes, and then I would drop shot. And you could probably get them if the wind's blowing. I would throw jerk bait or spinner bait if the wind's blowing. Go to the wind blown banks and you should be able to catch them. Other things going on, I haven't heard much about crappie fishing. Usually I do a lot of that in the fall, but that's kind of a fall thing for me, but I'm sure you could probably go out and find some somewhere. So that about wraps it up for, you know, the report for this week. If you guys are going out on Saturday and you're on your way fishing and you're in your truck 6:30, tune in 11:40 on the AM dial and listen to the California Sportsman Show. I'm on there every week at 6:40. And every first Saturday of the month, I'm actually in the studio with those guys and talking about fishing. So if you like this video, hit that like button. Please subscribe because it'll help out my channel a lot. If you go to the bottom corner, click that, you can leave me a comment. And I've done like 150 videos. And if there's anything that you want to do, you can look back at any of the videos and you can comment and I'll answer you within a few days. So thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next week.